What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Fantasy NBA Tonight Live with me, your host, Vince Miracle, all by myself today. I'm doing a solo show. I rarely do these, and when I do, they kick ass. So what we like to do here on Fantasy NBA Tonight is answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. And the other games just wrapping up, but I do want to remind everyone that this is the final show. This is the final show this week where the Fantasy NBA Tonight Live with myself and whoever my co-host may be for the rest of the week actually handle the show and answer all of your questions for free. This show will become a premium service after today. So if you guys loved the Q&A over the last 2 weeks and you love being able to get your questions answered here on the live show, that will no longer happen unless you are a premium in-season subscriber to hoop-ball.com. And again, guys, what we like to do on Fantasy NBA Tonight Live is answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. Now, how do you get your questions here on the show? All you have to do is put them down in the live chat. I'm monitoring it very closely. We'll see it. I'll answer it. And yeah, so I see that the viewership's already going on. I want to remind everyone that this is a solo show today. I'll be by myself tonight answering all of your guys' questions, and while also going over the box scores on what was a pretty busy night in the NBA. You saw some upsets. You saw the Brooklyn Nets were able to take down the Indiana Pacers. The Golden State Warriors look like they're about to take the W over the Pelicans with a minute 20 left in the game. The Jazz did exactly what the Jazz were expected to do and take down the Lakers. Houston Rockets get their first W in a ugly. I don't like that team, but I have James Harden on my team, so I had to root for him. The Charlotte Hornets get the win, and I was not expecting that. I thought the Miami Heat were going to be able to beat that team. Closer than I thought. OKC wins to the Phoenix Suns, but it took overtime, and we're gonna go over Russell Westbrook's line because that line was just gross. Detroit Pistons get a 108-82 victory, and the Cavs. Well, first off, Tristan Thompson, you're on a poster. But Cavs hold on to get the win, and that would be the day. And we're gonna go down all the box scores, and why not go with the one that we just brought up? And that's the Cavs and the Toronto Raptors. It was a very fun and entertaining game, a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals. But again, the Cavs were able to hold off, and they get the 94-91 victory. LeBron James finishes with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in this one. 7-16 shooting, 5 of 7, 2 3-pointers. But he did turn over the ball 5 times. But he's LeBron James. He did LeBron James things. Kevin Love actually had a very interesting line for me. You're starting to see defensive stats in these first 2 games. He plays 35 minutes, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. I really liked seeing these defensive stats from Kevin Love. Movie says, what's going on with KCP? Should I just avoid guys with hyphens in their name? KCP, I think he's just getting off to a slow start. I mean, this is only 2 games in for the Pistons, 3 games in for the Pistons. It's not that big of a deal. I expect a great year for KCP with the defensive stats and things like that. KCP sucks. Gonna drop him. Don't do it, Tama. Don't do it. He's not worth dropping yet. Because if you dropped in my league, I would go pick him up. Yuha says the headphones are gone. Yes, the headphones are gone because I don't need to hear anybody. Plus, I sometimes feel like I don't actually need the headphones. I got pretty big ears, so I can probably hear like the sun coming up in the mornings. But back to the stat line here. Kevin Love, we just went down his stat line. The defensive stats are very nice to see. The fact that he knocked down 2 3-pointers is good, and then did not finish the game with a turnover. Tristan Thompson, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 steals, and 1 block. Did not miss a shot, 5 of 5 shooting, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. So he did not kill you, and he did not turn over the basketball. You knew he was going to have a bounce back night. It was going to happen at some point, and tonight just happened to be the night, and it was against a good Toronto team, and it was also a fun game to watch. And then J.R. Smith, 8 points, 3 steals. He's going to get the ball, and he's going to shoot it, and he's not going to do much else. I think you have a good chance of seeing him averaging right around 10 points, a steal and a half, as well as knocking down 2 3-pointers. And finally, it was Kyrie Irving finishing with 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. I feel he can even lead this team in scoring all season long. I think you're going to see that. He's going to lead the team in shots attempts per game. His field goal percentage is going to go up and down a little bit, but definitely love seeing what the Cavs are doing. If you have any of these guys in your team, you picked them up in those first few rounds, you're reaping the rewards early. Well, a lot of questions just came in. Rob Van says, is Enes Kanter stuck in a logjam, or will he get decent minutes? He's going to get decent minutes. Domantas Sabonis, yeah, he's starting, but Enes Kanter is a very efficient player. not his night. I drafted him in the middle rounds of my draft. I think he's a nice center to have, and also he's a good trade piece to anybody if you wanted to have that in the later part of the year. But to have him on your roster, you know he's going to get you right around 15 points. He can get you 8 to 10 rebounds, a double-double on any occasion. I think you're going to start seeing his minutes increase as the season progresses, and the OKC starts to notice that they need to have more scorers on that team, and Enes Kanter happens to be one of the best of them. But no, I don't think he's stuck in a logjam. I just think that they like him as a six-man more than a starter, but that could change at any point during the season. Tamakar says, should I trade Mike Conley for Gordon Hayward? That's a lot. Actually, that's a lot harder. That's a lot harder than I actually thought I would be able to answer. Actually, let me know what kind of league you're in, and I'll get back to you on that one, Tama. Yuha says, Terrence Jones, droppable 12-team 9-cat head-to-head. It seems like it. Terrence Jones seems like I'm high on him still, because we know what he can do when given the minutes and what he's capable of doing, I think, next to Anthony Davis, because we saw what happened in Houston. The injuries, yes, they're a concern. But if you're already having him and you're just tagging him to the end of your roster and you're just hoping for that Terrence Jones that we won't see, and he's not producing it, it's only been 2 games, so I wouldn't pull the trigger just yet, but he is a droppable candidate right now, yes. Pick up TJ Warren. Will his success continue? He's starting, and I'm a fan of TJ Warren. I'll say that. And that question's from Terrell Drakeford. I actually really like TJ Warren. I think he fits that team in a certain need right now. Do I think he's a going forward starter and it's going to help that team from that position? No, I don't think so. But at this moment and how that team is currently structured, they're going with the youth movement. He has nice ball handling ability. He's not that great of a shooter, but the defensive stats could be there. And he can shoot the mid-range jumper, and he likes to attack the basket. So if he's available and you need the little bit of points on the defensive stats, I think he can definitely help you. Continue questioning his thoughts on TJ Warren, his role, minutes per game, safe, or is PJ Tucker just taking some time to ramp up? PJ Tucker is still recovering from injury, guys. So he'll be limited no matter what. And then the people who are taking it are Dragan Bender and I can't remember the other point guard's name off the top of my head. I'll get back to you guys on who the other person who was that took the minutes away from PJ Tucker and from Leonardo Barbosa. Tyler Ulis is the other person. Tyler Ulis and Dragan Bender have taken the minutes away from the backups of Leonardo Barbosa for the time being. So TJ Warren's in for his minutes. His role is safe. They made him a starter for the reasons because they're going with the youth movement. So, again, if he's out there, he's on the wire right now, I think he's worthy of a pickup right now to see what he can do, especially if you're dropping a guy like Terrence Jones. Bouillon Bubblegum sucked tonight. Can I expect this kind of inconsistency moving forward? Yes. I think that's very simple to say. He is one of their best scorers, but he's also one of their most inconsistent scorers. He's going to shoot a lot of three-pointers, a lot of mid-range jumpers. He thinks he can put the ball on the floor. He just can't. Yes, you're going to see a lot of inconsistency from Bogdanovich. 8-cat Roto League got plenty of point guards. If you got plenty of point guards, I mean, Gordon Hayward's going to be a nice piece. I personally would do it just because I'm worried about Conley's health throughout the entire season. They're already monitoring his minutes Saturday and Sunday. They're going to be making his minutes a little bit a softer cap on his minutes, so they may be letting him play a little bit more, but he might have restraints all season long. Rob says, if AD stays healthy, you think he's going to be the #1 player this year? He's been insane. I think Kawhi Leonard has been insane, but Kevin Durant's still up there, and he has to be as one of the #1 players right now out of his first few games with the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry, he's going to step his game up, but I think he has a chance to get right back to where he used to be if he can stay healthy. I mean, that's the only concern. This guy is a top 3, top 5 fantasy player. Anthony Davis is an amazing basketball player. You saw that line that he put up in the very first game, and remember, he wasn't even supposed to be even playing in that game. So to see him do what he's able to do, yes, if he can stay healthy, he has the chance to shoot to be the #1 player this year. And I love one of the comments that he made on the telecast, and Jeff Van Gundy was making jokes about it. But to say that to realize and know that he lost $24 million because he didn't make an All-NBA team or any after the season awards. That has to be disappointing. It's in the back of his mind. That's probably why he pushed to return so fast. And he's going to be successful all season as long as he can stay healthy. So, yes, I do think he has a chance to be the #1 player this year, but it's all about the health. And there's a lot of competition out there right now with Steph, with Kevin Durant, with Kawhi, with the numbers that he's putting up. So it'll be hard, but he has a chance to do it. Fred Mosley says, what do you think of Dante Cunningham starting the second half over Ashik? Worth the speculative ab, or was this just because of the matchup? I think it's going to be more because of the matchup. If it's speculative ad, I think it's still okay. I mean, Dante Cunningham Cunningham started games for the Pelicans last season, and you saw what he can do when he's on the floor. He can stretch it out a little bit by shooting the mid-range and three-point shot. Three-point shot I really don't like when he takes them, but he can knock them down with some occasion. The block that he did on who was it, Iguodala earlier today, and the running back. I mean, he's the hustle guy. And if Terrence Jones isn't filling out the role that I think he can fill out for that team, I still think that Terrence Jones is going to have the ability to do what Dante Cunningham does, but at a better rate, and also he's a better shooter than Dante Cunningham, so I think they're a better fit. But yeah, I mean, as a speculative ad, if you have just a floating spot available on your team, go ahead, go pick him up. Let's see what he can do over the next few games. Next question is from Pete and Korea. Do you like Marcus Morris or TJ Warren in a 9-cat head-to-head? Oh, that's a good one too. That's a great question. Marcus Morris is going to be a guy who secretly gets you like a steal and a half. He's going to get you those 2 3-pointers, but the inconsistency is going to be there from the field goal percentage wise. TJ Warren or Marcus Morris? Let me think about that. I'm leaning towards Warren for rest of season outlook. But as of right now, I think you could say Marcus Morris. So let me think about that, and I'll have you another answer by the end. Just give me a reminder. Zubin Patro says, what does Brewski make of Solo Hill's futility now? I think my eyes are terrible. By the way, I have Nas, guys, because I'm going to go fast and furious through these questions while continuing to answer all of your fantasy basketball questions. What does Brewski think of Solomon Hill's futility now? I'm going to say he's still riding with him. If Brewski was high on him, I actually don't know Brewski's thoughts on Solomon Hill, but if he was high on him, he's probably still high on him. It's too early to give up on him, but also. Bruno Motion official, hi, subs in my channel. I'm a singer. Well, I appreciate you trying to get some love here. But yeah, you'll probably be deleted here. That comment will probably be deleted in 3, 2, and 1. Bye-bye. And the next question comes from Terrell Drakeford. It says, is Sergio Rodriguez locked in as the starter? Will he be consistent of assists? What about TJ McConnell? TJ McConnell is going to be able to battle for minutes, and I think it's definitely going to be back and forth. Oh, it says, Vince, if you listen closely, you can hear Best Spurs doing backflips over Hibbert going down. Exactly. Sergio locked down for blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, so I think he's definitely going to continue to be the starter. He's a better fit with the starter. He can shoot the 3-point shot, but TJ McCollum's going to fight for those minutes. He can dish out the basketball, and he's very well when he's on the floor, very aggressive when he's on the floor. So I do think TJ McCollum's going to see his minutes, but I think both their minutes go down as soon as Jared Bayless is healthy and as soon as Ben Simmons is healthy. So if there's other guys like a Tim Frazier who's out on the waivers right now, because last time I checked, he was only 33% owned in most fantasy leagues. He is going to be a more reliable asset to have while Drew Holiday is out. And that's the same thing you can say with Sergio Rodriguez and TJ McConnell. They're just waiting until Jared Bayless can get healthy and Ben Simmons can get healthy. So as of right now, I think, yeah, he's going to be the starter, but I don't think there's a consistent time where you're going to see who has the most minutes. And I think that's what matters most. Vince, if you listen closely, you can hear Bespers doing backflips over Hibbert going down. He's not high on him. He's not high on him. It's like me and Embiid. I'm not on that train yet, and you're never getting back on the Hibbert train, ever. Why can't Derek Williams see the floor in Miami? Because Derek Williams is inconsistent. He has not lived up to his overall draft pick. I believe he was the number 2 pick in the draft. He just has not lived up to it. He's been inconsistent. He was here in Sacramento. He can dunk. That's cool. He can rebound when his energy is up, but that's at times inconsistent as well. So that's why he doesn't see time on the floor. I think Justice Winslow is going to learn how to play the 4 throughout the season. You're going to see other guys step in, and once Josh McRobert comes, he is going to be able to slide into that 4 spot. I think he actually will be the starter as soon as he gets healthy. Willie Reed is a nice rebounder behind Hassan Whiteside. He can also slide over and play some 4 as an aggressive man if they're really wanted to get locked down on the boards. I think you could see that even against matchups like, I know because I'm in Sacramento, you think I'm saying this, but even against a matchup like the Sacramento Kings, you want to have a big body on DeMarcus Cousins, and you saw what the Spurs did. They had Deadman on him, and Deadman was giving DeMarcus Cousins the muscle, and that's exactly what Willie Reed or Hassan Whiteside is going to have to do to slow down a big man like that, or even a Zach Randolph if you want to continue with the big man body. So that's why he doesn't see floor time. He's not a good defender. He's not a good shooter. He's inconsistent, and Derek Williams MO. Udre better than Ish Smith. He is in that Detroit system. He can knock down the 3-point shot. He's better in the pick and roll. He's better at passing. Now, I wasn't necessarily better at passing, but he's the veteran presence that's there. And as soon as he got signed or got picked up off of waivers, you knew Ish Smith's minutes were going to be up and down. It just depends on what he's going to bring. Ish Smith turns over the basketball, and they want to win games. And in Detroit, you cannot – and they're just waiting for Reggie Jackson to get back. So I think you're going to see a minute split between the two, especially because of the 3-point shooting and how he can stretch the floor for a guy like Andre Drummond. So is he better than Ish Smith? Probably not better than Ish Smith, but is he a better fit than Ish Smith? That answer is a 100% yes, in my opinion. This is Fantasy NBA Tonight, guys. I'm your host, Vince Miracle, and this is a hoop-ball.com presentation. Hey, while you're here, please do us a huge favor and subscribe to this channel. We finally reached 200 subscribers, and the best part about it is that we reached 200 for all of your guys' support. It's been an amazing 2 weeks being able to do the Fantasy NBA Today's show with Dan Besbris, and then Fantasy NBA Tonight with myself and whoever my co-host may be. And it's been just a lot of fun interacting with a lot of you guys. Unfortunately, though, this show does become a premium package after today. This is the final day to be a Q&A Fantasy NBA Tonight live type of show where we go live reactions about the games. We answer all of your questions. Who's hot to pick up? Is this guy worth the speculative ad? Like we talked about Dante Cunningham. This is the last time you get it for free. So if you want to continue having these shows where we're going to have Aaron Brewski on, we're going to have special guests from Australia come on. We're going to have a lot of different fantasy writers be on this show. And even during the day when Des Besbris has the guest during Fantasy NBA Today, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening, especially for the in-season product, though. So that's going to mostly, I'd say like 85% of it is going to be in podcast form. So if you want to have the live show and you want to be able to, go back and forth with, a fantasy expert like myself, like Aaron, like any of the guys that we bring on here, then you have to become an in-season member. And to do so, all you have to do is go to hoop-ball.com, click on premium, click on in-season membership. And do it today, because on November 1st, once November 1st hits, it's $29.99. But from now until then, it's $19.99. And for the weekend, this is for the entire weekend. You use promo code Fantasy NBA today, and you will get 15% off of the in-season package. So use promo code Fantasy NBA today, and you'll get 15% off the in-season package. That's off the $19.99. So not only are you getting it at a discounted price before November 1st, you're getting 15% off of that. So use that promo code. Once this show ends is when that promo code goes live. So once this show goes over, go to hoop-ball.com, become an in-season NBA today, and get 15% off of your in-season package. I guess that's a great way to do it. Again, hit that thumbs up button, guys, so we also know that you like this video. And I've let the questions, start stacking in here because I saw you guys were bumping them in, so I let it go for quite a little while, and we're going right back to the questions here. And it says, will Wilson Chandler get will Wilson Chandler? Man, that's terrible. Will Wilson Chandler get consistent minutes in Denver going forward? Yeah, I think he will. I mean, I don't think it'll be as consistent as like saying, 25 minutes, 25 minutes, 25 minutes. But I think you're going to see a range from the, early 20s to mid 20s. I don't think you'll ever see him exceed too much over the 30-minute mark consistently unless they go into too many overtimes. But they're going to be playing with their lineups quite a bit. They're going to continue going with the small ball. They did the twin tower look as we saw against the Pelicans, but it's going to be interesting because Jokic, I thought you guys were going to ask a lot more questions about Jokic, and we all did because of the bad start in the very first game. But are they really working for him? He hasn't really adjusted to that yet. But again, I think he's still going to be good. But the reason why I bring all that up is because Wilson Chandler, I think you're going to see him play some 4 and some 3 this year, and they're going to continue trying to roll out some different types of lineups. So going forward, do I think he'll have a role? Yes, but you also have to know that there are injury concerns when picking him up, and there's going to be consistency returns, not with his minutes, just with his, stat lines. So that's something you have to consider. Who should I drop first, Etuan or Bojan? Both are driving me nuts. Bojan or Etuan? I'm definitely going to think it's going to be Bojan because Bojan's going to be too inconsistent. Jeremy Lin's going to have the ball. They're developing Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. There's going to be times where Bojan comes off the bench throughout the entire season. So I think you're definitely going to go with Bojan, and he's going to continue to drive you nuts because his consistency is going to be gross. Zubin Patron says, Bojan, of course, dude. Yeah, of course, movie dude. Of course. Vince, I wanted to remind you that Ennis is dead to me. 4.4 points. Andy can get more than that. That's from my buddy Joe Morgan. That's actually my co-host of the King's Court podcast that you guys can see. There's the logo for his name. That's at Kings Nation. That's another site that we run. Go ahead and go check that out. If you guys are Kings fans, the King's Court podcast, you guys can go listen to that on iTunes. But yeah, he's talking DFS stuff. And if you guys want to talk DFS, we can definitely do so. But yeah, Ennis Cantor had 4.4 fantasy points today. Movie dude, I hear you, ZP. I have been moving him. So good. You guys are talking with one another. And Josh D. Rapp says, can I expect anything out of Tyreek Evans this year? Yeah, you can expect him to get injured again. I mean, that's kind of mean, but it's true. I mean, his knees are spent. His knees are worse than Luol Deng's knees. Plus, he makes bad plays. He likes to drive to the basket in traffic. He can get you the numbers, I guess, from fantasy perspective, but I think they're going to start looking at this team and how it's – I mean, they have better teammates now next to Drew Holiday once Drew Holiday is able to return. I think Etuan Moore, while he's inconsistent right now, I think he's a better fit because he can shoot the basketball. I think you're seeing Tim Frazier showing why he needs to still get minutes even if Drew Holiday returns. And maybe you'll see Drew Holiday slide to the 2 spot and Tim Frazier still get starting minutes. I was thinking about that earlier today when I'm watching the Warriors and how well Tim Frazier is playing. He's not only is Tim Frazier being aggressive, but he's also looking to pass as well. So I think that's going to be an option. So rest of season outlook, I think he's going to bounce around from top 75 to top 100. Last question. Zubin Patron says, who is the worst color commentator, Reggie Miller or Mark Jackson? Hand down, man down. Can't say Mark Jackson because I like to use that. Reggie Miller is pretty bad. I also think Chris Webber is terrible. What game did he do? It was, I believe, what game was it? Oh, it was the game about the fast breaks. It was the Knicks game. The Knicks game was the worst commentated game ever. He kept reminding us the same thing. Carmelo forgot how to run because this is the first time he's been on a fast breaks in like 2 years. They were the worst fast break team. I don't like Chris Webber's commentary in games. Reggie Miller's is just as bad because he thinks he knows what he's saying, but it just comes out terrible. It's bad. Have you given some thought on Warren versus Morris? Oh, yeah, I have. I have been giving that thought. Like I said, I think I'm leaning more towards Marcus Morris, but I really like TJ Warren. I can go back and forth. I don't think any of them are really that bad, but I like Warren's. I'm going to go with Marcus Morris. I think the defensive stats are going to be there. There you go. Go get Marcus Morris. If it doesn't work, go get TJ Warren. Tim Frazier trying to keep his job. Yeah, he is. I think that you're going to see him keep his job. I don't know why. I just think that you can move Etuan Moore to the point guard for the second unit, and then him and Buddy Hield man down that second unit, and then Tim Frazier and Drew Holiday being the 1 and 2. Tim Frazier's defense, even though he's not the tallest guy in the world, he's not the strongest guy in the world, he likes to body up people. So I think him and Holiday can be a nice 1-2 fit next to one another once he's capable of returning. Are you buying on Jeremy Lin or sell high after tonight? Whew, that's a great question. I'm not buying in on Jeremy Lin. I mean, I think Jeremy Lin is going to be able to produce numbers this season. He's going to score points. He has a good chance of getting you 4 to 5 assists per game, potentially 6. We all saw Linsanity. We all want him to be successful. I mean, his very first game ever for winning a championship was in Sacramento. Fun fact. Hashtag Sacramento proud, I guess, because I keep bringing that up. But Jeremy Lin's going to be able to score the basketball. He's arguably the number one option out there, and him and Brook Lopez are going to be sharing the offensive duties. So sell high if you can. I'd say, yeah, if you can sell high on him, definitely do so. Is Miles Turner going to keep it up? Yes. Is Miles Turner going to keep it up? I say yes. You picked him up in the early middle rounds for a reason, and that's because you know what he can do with the shot blocking ability. It's just a matter of time before you start seeing his 3-point shots start being, getting chanced and starting to take a couple more. But yeah, I think this is exactly what you're going to see. What worries me is that he's still pretty thin. He has that frail body frame, but also so does Rudy Gobert. And that's the one thing that worries me a little bit. But the mid-range jumper has been looking nice. He's been looking fantastic. And everyone who got him in those early middle rounds are reaping the benefits right now. Rubber called Hernandez. I know. He's bad. He's a bad. Some of these guys, I just don't think they should be doing the calls. Jalen is money, not a lot of money, but still. Movie dude, you're clever. Okay, I'm gonna give it to you. You're clever. You watched a lot of movies, dude, because you're pretty clever. You be taking some stuff. Buddy Hield worth holding on to in a NFBKC satellite league. Yeah, I'm really high on Buddy Hield. So I mean, you can take it with a grain of salt. I think Buddy Hield has the chance to develop into a really good scorer for that Pelicans team. Again, taking minutes away from a guy like Tyreek Evans. He can knock down the shot. He's also one of those guys that's a fearless shooter. So he's holding in almost any league, standard leagues as well. I think Buddy Hield has a chance to be a scorer this season, and his rest of season outlook is going to grow. And I know he's going to be inconsistent because he is a rookie, but I'll say this as well. I think he's also, one of my top 5 candidates for Rookie of the Year. Best sell high candidates after the first few games. Best sell high candidates after the first few games is a great question. Kevin Love, I think you can definitely sell high on, but I mean, how high do you want to get on a guy like that? Best sell high candidate. That is a good one. That is a great. I think Miles Turner is a good sell high candidate. Yusuf Nurkic is probably a good sell high candidate. And any injury-prone player that has gone off is a good sell high candidate, except for Anthony Davis. On Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, 2 duds so far with literally no numbers. He's going to start off slow, but he's going to be something. I don't know if he's worth holding on right now. I think if there's something out there on your wire that you want to go get, he's worth dropping. A guy who gets you a lot of points at all. He's going to be a guy that gets you right around 8 to 10 while grabbing you like 3 to 4 rebounds. He'll get you 2 to 3 assists. He'll get you 2 steals. I mean, that's what you're looking for from a guy like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson. You're not putting him out there hoping that he's going to score a bunch. You're putting him out there hopefully that he can contribute in every category across the board. And I think you will see that as the season progresses. But if there's something out there and he's not helping you right away, because it is 2 duds so far and it's only been 2 games, but I like the rest of season outlook on a guy like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson for sure. Plus, I'm also a huge fan of his game and what he can bring to that Brooklyn Nets team, because he's one of the only true young development type of players that they have. I can't talk. Hold on a second. Thank you. Only true development player that they have that is worth holding on to over there. And I think he's going to continue to see the minutes all season long. So I really like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, but I can also understand why you're ready to cut him. Bob Doe, Russell Westbrook, Rodney Hood, Kent Bazemore, Paul Millsap, Brook Lopez, Kemba Walker, Nicholas Batum, Rudy Gay, Jeremy Lin, Goran Dragic, Tobias Harris, Brandon Knight, Tim Frazier. Rate my 10-man league. Ooh, rate it. Well, love Westbrook, love Hood, love Bazemore, love Millsap. That on Lopez, love Walker, Batum, Rudy Gay, Jeremy Lin, Goran Dragic, Tobias Harris, Brandon Knight, Tim Frazier. Woo! There you go. Best buy low candidate. I think Jokic is a great buy low candidate right now. We have here at Hoopball and on the draft guide, for those who purchased it, we have Jokic pretty high. You know how I keep changing that up a little bit? I keep saying Jokic, and then when I realize I say Jokic, I say Jokic, because I really don't know the correct pronunciation of his name, but I definitely think that low candidate right now would be him, because people are worried. They're going to continue to roll out the Twin Tower lineup, and I don't know. And Harrison Wind, who covers the Denver Nuggets, wrote a great, and I think it was one of those things where he said that he's been trying to adjust, and this is Jokic just trying to adjust to that Twin Tower, to having Nurkic next to him since the preseason. It hasn't, and it's now transferred over into the regular season where he's continued to struggle. So I'm gonna say, yeah. I think that he's the greatest buy low candidate right now, because the rest of season outlook for him, I think they want him to succeed. That's why he was the only person that was guaranteed the starting role out of all the big men that were vying for the power forward and center position. Not a bad team, but may need some blocks and rebounds. Rebounds, he got Millsap, Lopez, Batum rebounds, Gay rebounds. He's got rebounds and Westbrook rebounds. He's got rebounds from a lot of different positions. You definitely need blocks, though. You're low on blocks. Your steals should be fine as well. You have a good team. You have a good team. New life. We'll grab a lot of good names. You grabbed a lot of good names. You made yourself a pretty nice team. I think you can try and move some pieces. Like we said, you can sell high on Jeremy Lin. You can sell high on Brendan Knight after a night like tonight, and I think you can also sell high on a guy like Tim Frazier, and see because you know he's going to be traded. And that's a good sell high candidate too. Is who's good to sell high? I think Tim Frazier could be a nice sell high candidate, but at the same time, he can also be someone that's fought for his role and is now sticks with his role as the starter over there for New Orleans. It's not haven't heard anything. I haven't talked to anybody about it. It's just after seeing this game today against the Warriors, he just looks like he's a good fit as the starter. And then thinking of having Drew Holiday there next to him to take the workload away, or to even have just off the ball, I think that would be actually really smart for the Pelicans to do. And I think it's better than Tyreke Evans. When are the Nets going to give McLaughlin decent minutes over the Walking Dead Scola or Booker? Okay. People hate on Trevor Booker. I'm a huge Trevor Booker fan. I know why people hate on him though, because he's completely inconsistent, but he's super athletic big man. He's a nice role player guy. He's not gonna see the McLaughlin. I can't pronounce his name. I'm sorry. McCullough. Yeah. Yeah, I still can't pronounce it. I think you'll see him get decent minutes. He can play. He definitely can play, but it'll be inconsistent all season long. Pick 2, Cody Zeller, Trevor Booker, Justin Hamilton, Andre Roberson, Alan Crabb, Sean Kilpatrick, Dion Waiters. Picking 2, I like Cody Zeller. It also depends on what you need. This is Fred. Let me know what you need, because out of those guys, I really like Cody Zeller. Justin Hamilton has the potential, but Andre Roberson, I think, is being overlooked a little bit, and he's not going to be a guy that he's going to be kind of like a guy like Rondae Hollis-Jefferson that we were talking about earlier. He's not going to fill it up in any one category, but he's going to contribute across the entire board. I call it the Wes Johnson line, but he's going to do a better Wes Johnson line, and he has been working on his offensive game, and I think you can see him get maybe a 3 a game as well as the steals. So I would go there. Best player out of that right now, I think it's going to definitely be Cody Zeller. Rob Vance says, I got Bazemore, Crowder, Covington, and KCP on my team. Too many 3-and-D guys, 9-cat roto. 3-and-D guys. I think if you're in a 9-cat roto league, you can get rid of Covington's turnovers. I think Bazemore and Crowder are worth it. I think you can sell Covington, though. I think Covington, once he has that good game of getting a ton of steals, you can get rid of him because the turnovers in a roto, you're basically punting that with him. He'll turn over the ball a lot. KCP, yeah, he's going to be a 3-and-D guy. I don't think that's too many 3-and-D guys if you can move Covington in some way. I think Seth Curry will get it going with the Mavs, or will it take an injury? They speak highly of him over there. I mean, they really do. And when he gets the minutes and his confidence is there, I mean, we saw what he can do, in the right system, or at least in a system that best suits his game. He's a great shooter. And Wes Matthews is shooting the ball inconsistent right now, and he's hurting the hell out of my field goal percentage. But I mean, he may need an injury, and I think an injury is definitely imminent with Darren Williams. So it's going to be a JJ Barea and Seth Curry show once that happens. But I think you're probably going to see 15 to 18 minutes for now. And if Darren ever goes down, then that's when you'll see his minutes pick up. Are Trevor Booker and Kilpatrick for real, or should I just go on a Brooklyn Nets diet altogether? Kilpatrick can score and Trevor Booker can rebound. I think Trevor Booker is a poor man's Taj Gibson, and Taj Gibson is already a poor man's center or power forward that can do a little bit of everything. So I would lean more towards Trevor Booker, but if you want a inconsistent scorer, go with Kilpatrick. But yeah, I think going on a Nets diet is a good idea. Should be Brooklyn Nets free diet. Like I said, need boards and blocks. You need boards and you need blocks. Again, I think Cody Zeller is a good one. If you need blocks, no one really there gives you the blocks. Maybe Justin Hamilton gives you the blocks. I would go, honestly, out of those players, best player available, Fred, looking at your list, I'm still leaning toward Cody Zeller and Andre Roberson, but Justin Hamilton started to make an argument. At Fred Zeller Crab Waiters. I mean, there you go. Yes, dude. Thanks, guys. Do you think Drummond can average 50% from the free throw line this year? I hope that answered your question. Matthews is killing me too. Man, Matthews is hurting my feelings. I didn't think he'd be doing this to me. But I mean, the one promising thing you can take from it all is the fact that he's taking 14 shots, that he's taking 16 shots. And that's exactly what you want to see. You want to see a guy who's going to be have a prominent role in that team. And maybe he's just taking a while to get it going. But yeah, it's kind of hurting me a little bit that he's hurting my field goal percentage so bad. Trevor Booker for real? Again, I think so. I think Trevor Booker can definitely be a double-double type of guy if given the minutes. But again, I don't think his minutes are ever going to be safe. There's a lot of other guys that are fighting for that position as well, and they may go small at times. But Brooklyn has nothing, so he may also get the minutes. I think he's for real for a low-end play. Would you drop Hield for any of them? Would I drop Buddy Hield for any of them? Yeah, I'd drop Buddy Hield for Cody Zeller if I needed the blocks. I mean, Hield's going to be a guy that needs to develop. That's the thing. Like, I have him as one of my top 5 rookies that can actually become Rookie of the Year. I think he has that potential, but it's going to take a little while for him to develop and for him to get into the role that I predict him to have by the end of the season. So, like I said, I think if you're ready to drop him and you have enough scorers on your team, I think Cody Zeller is going to be worth a pickup. You already saw him outplay Roy Hibbert. Now Roy Hibbert's down. He's going to become the starter, and I think he's going to be just fine. There's going to be games where he's going to completely hurt you, but he's going to be just fine. What do you think? Or sorry, I'm skipping a question from Ben Carnado. Ben, welcome to the show. How are your fantasy teams doing so far, Vince? One of them is up 7-2. My points league, you guys are going to make fun of me. So this is what happens when you have a kid on the way and you have to manage your stinker tinker time, right? I forgot to set my points league. And on my points league, one very strong player that I have in my points league is Anthony Davis. And he's on my bench right now, and that's pretty unfortunate for me. So that's kind of how that league's going, but I'm up 7-2-1. I haven't checked the Fantrax league because it's a weekly setup on that one. But I would say overall, I'm out of the first week, I'm right around 50-50. I'm losing in 3, and I'm also winning in 3. Bob says, what do you think about Joakim Noah? I think he's a buy low candidate. I think he'll can always be a buy low candidate. Is Roy Hibbert's career over? For me, it is. Please rate Kawhi, Harden, Cat, Anthony Davis. WB. Who is WB? I don't know who WB is. Kawhi, Harden, Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Davis, and Westbrook. Bam, figured it out. Hold on. My fault. So rate those guys. I'm gonna go with. This is a tough one. I'm probably gonna go Cat 1 and this is after the first week. I'm gonna go Kawhi. Nope. I'm gonna go after this week. It's gonna be Davis, Kawhi. Davis, Kawhi, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Russell Westbrook. That's gonna be that after this week. That's what it's gonna be. Davis, Kawhi, Karl-Anthony Towns, Harden, Westbrook. When is Terrence Jones going to get some burn on the Pels team? Don't drop candidate right now. He's definitely a drop candidate, but at the same time, I do think that he has the chance. If he gets the minutes, he can have that role with the team that it fits it very well, but he's going to have to earn it. The injury concerns are there. They're trying to use him as a center. I just don't think it fits. They need to play him next to Anthony Davis, and they're talking about it, but they haven't actually truly done it yet, so I'm waiting for that to actually happen. Excuse me. But yeah, I do think he needs to get some burn as well, but he's definitely a drop candidate if there's something out on your waiver that you want to go pick up. I see your guys' question, but I'm going to pause the show once again since we have 20 minutes left here on the show to remind everyone that this is Fantasy NBA Tonight live with me, Vince Miracle, and this is a hoop-ball.com presentation. I want to remind everyone that this live show, this is the final time the show will be for free here on YouTube. We're only going to be doing the show from our premium in-season subscribers only. Now, how do you become a premium in-season subscriber to hoop-ball.com? All you have to do, type in the link on your computer, go over to hoop-ball.com, go to premium, the premium tab, scroll down, click on in-season membership. Click on that. It's right now only $19.99. And once this show ends, if you use promo code Fantasy NBA today, all the way up until Monday morning, you can get that package for 15% off. And it's already $19.99 because once November 1st hits, it's $29.99. So you want to get it, one, while it's cheap, and two, when you can use the promo code all weekend long. Promo code Fantasy NBA today. You will get 15% off, and that's as soon as this show ends. So go become an in-season member at hoop-ball.com. Also, guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button to the show. It's truly appreciated for how much support we have gotten over these past 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks we've been doing this show. We have now reached 200 subscribers in that time, and it's all because of you guys interacting with us on Twitter, interacting with us on Facebook, and of course, interacting with us here on the show and getting the word out about what we're doing here. It's truly appreciated. We want to thank all of you guys, for myself, Dan, Aaron Brewski, and the whole entire Hoop Ball team. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. And hey, while we're here and we're talking about support and we're talking about subscribing, hit that thumbs up button so we know that you do like this show and you like these videos. All right, back to the questions, and we haven't even had time to go down the stat sheets yet. So we only went down the Cavs, and that's a great reason for the show because I wanted to answer all of you guys' questions anyways. Is Dedmon for real? And has Powell been demoted by Pops? No. Powell is a great fit for that team. Movie dude, come on, you know better than this. Powell's a great fit for that team. He's going to continue to get the minutes there. Dedmon is going to be the energy guy off the bench, and that's what Pop does. That's what the Spurs do. They get the guys that are really ready to work and ready to put in that work every time they're on the floor, and it's going to be it's going to be one to watch because Dedmon's going to be a guy that comes in there and he's going to be a force. And I'll say this, he'll be a strong value play all season long on DFS. Matthews is picking up where he left off last year, unfortunately. Good for threes and steals, but will kill field goal percentage. Fred, I agree. He's killing my field goal percentage, but I have to believe that this thing is going to change. Plus, I need Darren Williams to take on a bigger role to help him. I need Harrison Barnes to take on a bigger role to help him out. They need to be able to do driving kicks and get him on wide open shots. Bob Doe, Anthony Davis, Westbrook, Harden, Kawhi, and Cat. No. Vince, no. I don't know what no means. I don't know. I'm still going after this week. It has to be Davis for what he's done, then Kawhi, and then Karl Anthony Towns, and then Harden. Then Westbrook was we didn't get to his line today. He shot 45 shots. Yeah, he scored 51. He had a triple-double. He shot 45 shots. That's gross. I guess for fantasy purposes, you want to have that on your team, and sure, that's why you rank him number 2. Perfectly fine. But he's going to have so many nights where his field goal percentage is going to go down. On top of that, he's not going to shoot any three-pointers. Yes, he's going to be, if the turnovers are not an issue for you, that's fine. He's going to turn over the basketball quite a bit. Yes, he's a top 5 asset for sure, but he could possibly slide because of the turnovers, because of the field goal percentage. I understand why you could possibly have him at number 2, but from how I structure my teams and how I look at these certain players and what they have done from a fantasy perspective, Russell Westbrook has actually scared me. So, Davis, Kawhi, Cat, Harden, Westbrook, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think of Marcus Morris' stats will be like this year? I think Marcus Morris, you're going to see the same exact stat line as last year, right around 12 points, 5 rebounds, a steal and a half, maybe like 2 assists, a 3-pointer and a half, and shooting right around 40, 42, 41%. I know it was 41% last year, but maybe 41, 42%. Fantasy fail. Oh, no. Oh, I think you guys are talking about the fact that I'm 3-3. It's all right. I got Gary Harris on the bench. I got Josh Richardson on the bench on my IRs. I'm good. I just swooped up Drew Holiday. My teams are looking good. Don't worry, guys. I'll let you know I'm going to win all the money this year. Just wait. And any of the hoop ball guys that are watching, I'm coming for you. I'm ready to take you down. Remember that. Next question. Noah is just a low candidate. Yes, Joakim Noah. He's not a buy low candidate. He's just a low candidate. Will Barton. You say his name. I just think of him in the dunk contest trying to do the Michael Jackson thing. It just didn't work. You guys have 15 people watching for free. How many people do you expect to watch for a premium? People who bought the premium subscription will watch. I'll say it like that. How many people do I expect? I expect quite a bit, maybe even around the same amount. And at the same time, it's not necessarily about how many people watch now. It's going to be how many people watch after the show because of that premium subscription. So I'll say it like that. These shows are for Q&A segments for the people that can join us live, as well as going over the box scores. But because this is the free show, we love to answer your guys' questions while it's free to all the entire public, and then go over these box sheets when we have box scores while we have the chance. So that's what we're expecting, is to be able to be watched later on, and that's what it's for in the in-season products. But I appreciate your question, Bob. And go become an in-season member. It's totally worth it. We have Aaron Brewski hosting a waiver wire show for you guys to get your waiver wire questions in, as well as telling you who's the hot and who's not waiver wire pickups, who you should drop, who should potentially be on your watch list. Great things like that. And then Monday, you guys got a sneak preview of it on actually Tuesday this week due to the wacky schedule on this. But Aaron Brewski, Dan Besbris hosting a lineup show, telling you who you should be locking into your lineups. That'll also be live, so you guys can ask questions there in the in-season membership, as well as see who they're starting on their teams. When Gary Harris returns, what type of production should I expect? Will he and Barton take away from each other's stats? Well, Barton will not take away from Gary Harris' stats. Gary Harris is going to be an Avery Bradley type of player, and that's my personal opinion. He's going to get you the 2 or 3 assists. I believe he can actually run the point guard position better than Emmanuel Mudiay, especially in the pick and roll with the big men. You're going to see him knock down threes. The stats, defensive, so not terrible in efficiency. And he attacks, so I think there's a good chance you see him get to the free throw line at least 4 times this season. So I would say expect an Avery Bradley type of player. Not necessarily the points though, but just the type of player that he'll be. I know I'll be watching for sure. I got a deal with the fantasy squad here. Had 5th pick in our draft. It got messed up, so somehow moved to 12th pick. Okay, well, with the 12th pick, I hope I draft Hassan Whiteside. I think he's gonna be amazing this year. How about having free show one night a week for the people? Wish I had the mix board or whatever, the sound board that Dan Besbris has, because then I can do the Jalen Brown or the Jalen Rose, the button where he goes, got to give the people. You guys can write the rest. But we'll think about it. You know, there's going to be that occasion. We are going to do live shows on Fantasy NBA Today, Rob. That will occasionally be live, maybe on on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We may do a live Fantasy NBA Today, but those are not necessarily Q&A shows. Those are going on over the night that was. Basically just the big names and some like the big stat lines, and really just going over what we've seen from an NBA perspective, and then looking forward to the next day, like what do we want to see? Not necessarily who do you want to start, but really just an NBA talk and getting your guys's, so for you guys to see how we're looking at a certain game and how things are developing, what we're hearing. I would say it's more of a reading the RotoWorld blurbs, or reading the hoop-ball.com blurbs, or reading wherever you read your guys' information and getting that to you through a live show. And then at the last 5 minutes, the last 3 minutes of the show, we'll take a couple of questions, but it's not going to be a Q&A show like this is. And that's why you got to get the in-season subscription, so you continue watching Fantasy NBA Tonight, getting your questions in and being able to watch it and then go over it and see what happened on the night that it was through the box scores. And the next one was, as I read down here, the radio guys out here have been saying Pop is saving power for the playoffs, hence the lower minutes. I believe it. I truly believe it. Andre Francisco, looks like we're going to be talking trade here. I got offered Rudy Gay for Gobert. I'm in a 9-cat league with surplus of centers already, Valanciunas, Adams, and Nurkic. I'm a Kings fan. Should I accept? Absolutely not. I love Westbrook, but I agree with you, Vince. When a guy is shooting 30 to 45 times, it sounds like low free throw percentage and an injury waiting to happen. Also, Andre, I didn't mean to dismiss it like that, but Rudy Gobert, he's as long as he's knocking down his free throws, he's going to be a double-digit rebounder, double-digit scorer. The blocks are going to be there. He's going to be a really good basketball player. That's why there was a lot of hype around him, and unfortunately, he hurt a lot of fantasy owners' hearts last season because of what happened to the injuries, but he looked healthy since coming back. And he looked healthy in the preseason. He looks healthy now, and he looks ready to have a strong year. Rudy Gay is going to have that looming cloud of it, and if he's going to get traded or not the entire season, and that's going to be an issue for him. It truly is going to be a problem on to whether or not he's going to be worth keeping. and if whatever team he goes to, if he's going to still be able to be that same Rudy Gay. And that's where you're going to have a lot of your questions. Fred says, I'm in. Already purchased my premium subscription. Well, thank you so much, Fred. We definitely appreciate the support. Less than $20 for a season-long service as a bargain compared to the competition. Completely agree. We are the cheapest other than any big box site. And honestly, after all the input that you guys have given us and the thanks that you guys have given us and the word you guys have spread about it, our draft guide was arguably the best one out there as well compared to all the big box sites. And why? It's because we have a guy like Aaron Brewski, training and being very hands-on with a lot of our writers and a lot of our experts as well as myself, and being able to work on that and having a lot of different voices and different inputs and different ways that we look at the game. We have a strong analytics team that works hard every single day. And that's also going to be in the in-season service as well. So to get it for $19.99 right now is a steal, because it jumps up to $29.99 on November 1st, and that's still cheaper than all the big box sites. And again, use promo code Fantasy NBA today, and all weekend long you can have it for 15% off. So go and purchase the in-season package today. Hey guys, love the show. How would you rank these waiver pickups? Very general question. Josh Richardson, Gary Harris, TJ Warren. Love the question. I'm gonna go. Can I go 1A, 1B? I'm really high on Josh Richardson. I'd probably go Gary Harris, Josh Richardson, and TJ Warren. Yeah, Gary Harris, Josh Richardson, TJ Warren. That's what it's going to be. Harris, Richardson, Warren. Gary Harris is available right now on my waiver wire. Should I get him? Yeah, he's already questionable. I know he's been practicing. I know Michael Malone wants him to go through a full practice before he actually gets game. So he has to be able to go through a full practice tomorrow before he actually plays. So that's where you're gonna wonder, like, is he gonna be able to go? I would say this: if he doesn't play tomorrow, if he doesn't play tomorrow or Sunday, can't remember when the next game is. I definitely think, and there's no word on it, but I would bet that he plays at some point next week. Sorry, I meant field goal percentage, not free throw percentage. I agree. I know what you meant, but I read it. What do you think of Chris Dunn? I think Chris Dunn is going to be a guy that's going to be the backup point guard to Ricky Rubio and Zach LaVine, and is not truly going to be an asset unless you're in a deeper league to really be on your roster in standard leagues. And you said you're in a 10 team. I definitely don't think he's worth owning. Especially if you're in a points league. He just doesn't do much while he's on the floor right now, and that's why they haven't traded Ricky Rubio. At least that's the word. They don't know if Chris Dunn's ready to step into a starting role. Again, I can get into the whole trade discussion as well with the Rudy Gay and things like that, but we do it a lot on the Kings Court podcast. So if you guys want to talk Kings, I cover the Sacramento Kings, and we do it on the Kings Court podcast. You guys can definitely go check it out there. But just look for the logo. And you guys saw Joe Morgan earlier in the chat. That's my co-host over there, so you guys can definitely go and hit him up as well. I'm looking at the premium subscription as well. Been looking at it for a bit now. Appreciate the hard work. We appreciate you, looking at it, looking at the site. If you guys have bookmarked it, thank you for bookmarking the site. All of the support, we truly appreciate it. This has been an amazing 2 weeks getting to know a lot of you guys and talking to a lot of you guys. And again, we're up to 200 subscribers in 2 weeks, and that would not have happened without all of your guys' help. So we definitely appreciate it. We're running short on time here, guys. So if you guys have your questions, this is the final day to get them in for free. So if you guys want to become an in-season subscriber and you guys want to continue having this show, I definitely recommend going to hoop-ball.com right now and becoming an in-season member, and just use promo code Fantasy NBA today, and you will get 15% off already on the cheaper price of $19.99. So you get it for $19.99. Use promo code Fantasy NBA today. You'll get 15% off. It's an amazing service. The things that we have going in that thing for you is going to help you all season long. Just go over there, go check it out. It's going to be worth it to you. And we're cheaper than all the big box sites. As you saw earlier in the chat from Fred, again, we appreciate all of your guys' support. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button so you know that you guys like this show. But yeah, get all of your questions in now before the show ends, because I want to answer as many questions as I can. And if a lot start pouring out, I'll definitely go over, but we're looking at a 10 o'clock stop time. Next question here. I agree with Fred. I never thought I'd pay for any kind of membership, and it's totally changed now. Changed how I look at things and how I draft. Again, Movie Dude, thank you so much. We appreciate the help. At Tom, I like them in order, and I like them in order you listed them. In the order you listed them. Oh, okay, you're talking about. Okay, you guys are talking with one another. Love it. Love that you guys are chatting. Yahoo sucks by not letting us put Harris on the IR. It's because he's questionable. That's the only thing that sucks. I completely agree. It's only because he's questionable, and there's a good chance that he's going to be playing next week. Pablo, trade offer. Offer Karl Anthony Towns for my AD. Should I accept? AD kind of risky. I would accept that. It's on there. Hit accept. I am a huge fan of Karl Anthony Towns and what he can do. I love that Anthony Davis is showing what he can do, and you're selling high. This is a sell high candidate, and if you're selling that high on Anthony Davis, you're basically getting the same player but the less risky player, and I'd take that in a heartbeat. So if you got offered Karl Anthony Towns, take it. Take it. Ty Lawson. I got offered Depot and Drew Holiday for Cat. I couldn't hit reject fast enough. Good. You should have laughed at him too. You should have said lose my phone number if they were your friend. No, Ty. Just to answer your question, Bob. No, Ty Lawson's not worth it. As soon as Darren Collison returns, he's going to be a bench guy. And as we've seen, through these first couple games with the Kings, he's going to get the minutes, but the stats are just not going to be there. It's going to be too inconsistent. Vince, just wondering your thoughts on having guys from the same team on your fantasy squad. I picked up Gary Harris, and I would then have 2 Denver players, 2 LAC players, 2 Houston players on my squad, and that doesn't really bother me. I mean, let me just pull up one of my teams while talking about it right now, because that truly doesn't bother me that much. I mean, I know last season I had Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan as well, and so I was doing free throw percentage, but I had Blake and DeAndre, and I had Andre Drummond, and I believe it was Reggie Jackson. Like I was going full on tank mode. I was trying to get as many big minutes as I could, and it worked out for me. I think what you got to look at though when having those type of players is start checking out their playoff schedule and start seeing what their playoff schedule looks like, because that is what will affect you later on, is when you get to the playoffs and you're like, oh man, their playoff schedule is not good, and I have these 2 players, and these 2 players. Then you might want to start making moves, but don't just start making moves because you have those players, because they're on the same team. Start making the right moves because those players are still worth something to somebody else. What do you think of Sark? And this is from Dat1Dude722. Well, welcome to the show, Dat1Dude722. What do I think of Sark? I think I'm not as high on Sark as Aaron Brewski and a lot of the guys are, but I understand the hype behind it. He is currently going to be the #1 candidate for Rookie of the Year, and rightfully so. But the talent level is going to be there. The experience is there. He can pass the basketball. He can handle. You saw the mid-range shot that he can do against OKC. But it's going to be inconsistent, and that's my biggest problem. I mean, he's still a rookie, whether you want to believe it or not, because of the experience. He's still a rookie, and I'm just not as high on him as a lot of other guys are. Ty Lawson will be okay until Collison comes back. Sack has a 5-game week next week. Yeah, so there you go. If you guys really Ty Lawson's not going to be the same Ty Lawson that he was from Denver, Bob. It's not going to happen, especially not in the system that Dave Yeager is running right now. Garrett Temple has been running the point guard position a lot better than Ty Lawson has. Ty Lawson is just the true primary point guard that they have, and they're using him right now. He is. I don't know if you guys have been watching a lot of games. Shots just don't look like they're underneath them. You can tell he's picked up the bad habits from George Karl's system. So I can understand why you want to get him if you need like 5 or 6 assists, but I wouldn't expect a big explosion game. I think if at any given night, I guess that can happen, but I wouldn't expect it. You know what I mean? Don't pick him up hoping that he's going to have a 15-8 game or even a Tim Frazier type of line, because I just don't see that happening. A better person who has been running this team is Garrett Temple. I think a better Kings player to add is Matt Barnes. He's going to be getting the minutes, and there's a reason why he's going to be getting the minutes. It's for the defensive stats and the three-point shot. There's other players you could pick up, and Willie Cauley-Stein, if he's on your waiver wire, rest of season outlook for him is very strong for us over here at Hoop Ball, and that's something that you can have seen on the hoop-ball.com draft guide. Movie Dude, should I look into selling Fournier? He gives me the same feeling as Lynn, where he's good until guys get tape on him. Fournier was good last year. I like Fournier this year as the number 2 guy, maybe even arguably number 1 option. But they run primarily through the big. I wouldn't sell Fournier, at least not for cheap. Would you purposely draft the same position more than normal to attract players needed? example, draft top 5 centers for someone's point guard or small forward. It's happened. I've seen some ridiculous things happen over the last couple of days with trades and people needing a center because they all wanted to go guard heavy and now they need a center. I was them. I have a very balanced roster. One of my team has Miles Turner, Enes Kanter, Gorgie Ding, and Jokic. I mean, my young center core is strong. So, yeah, I can see people doing it. I definitely can see people doing it. Unfortunately, no one Lawson. That's Fred. Should I stop Covington? I think it's should I drop Covington for Gary Harris? No turnovers in my league. No turnovers in your league? Ooh. I mean, Covington's going to continue to get the minutes until Ben Simmons is there. That's a really good question. Is there anybody else you could potentially drop? Because, I mean, Covington's going to get you the steals. He's going to get you the three-pointers. The points are going to be there. It's going to be hit or miss with him at times, but he's in for some minutes. And then Gary Harris, I definitely think if he's out there, you need to go pick him up. Matt Barnes just put up a nice fat L for the squad last night. He did. He's going to be up and down. A lot of these Kings players are. It's hard to trust a lot of Kings players. I think the only true Kings players you can trust right now are going to be DeMarcus Cousins, Rudy Gay, and Darren Collison when he returns. Everybody else is going to be inconsistent until I think Willie Cauley-Stein is that next option that steps up, and you're like, oh, okay, he's going to be consistent. Fornicate is whack. I think he meant to say Fournier is whack. But all right. Thanks, Vince, for taking the time to answer our questions. Fred, thank you so much because it is 10 o'clock, and that is the time of our show, guys. I want to thank every single one of you who had joined us on Fantasy NBA Tonight Live for the final free show. It's been an amazing 2 weeks. Like I've said, I've harped on it a little bit over the last hour here. And again, I want to say thank you from myself, Aaron, Dan, and the entire Hoop Ball team. This show and the subscriber base that we have over the last 2 weeks has just been amazing. You guys in the live chat have been amazing. The fact that you guys are conversating with you guys yourself has been truly awesome and truly been fun to watch. Go into our forums, continue the chat. We go to hoop-ball.com. We have a forums page. Start chatting with one another in there. I'll tell you this right now too. Aaron, Dan, myself, I know the Donnie brothers go in there. We go in there. We actually talk to you guys inside the forums as well. You guys just get the conversation started, and we're going to be there. Get the in-season subscription. Become an in-season member for hoop-ball.com. Use promo code FANTASYNBA today. As soon as I click this thing, give me 10 minutes so I can set it all up. 10 minutes. Fantasy NBA today. Use that promo code. You will get 15% off any in-season membership all through the weekend. Fantasy NBA today. Use that promo code. You get 15% off of $19.99. On November 1st, it's $29.99. Where else can you get all the analytics done for you? Answering your questions on shows like this. Getting a show on Mondays to help set your lineups. Getting a waiver wire show on Sundays. What place are you going to get that for $19.99 and even cheaper when you use this promo code? We're the cheapest one out there other than the big box sites. We work very, very hard on all the things that we're doing. And again, we do it all for you guys. And I want to thank you guys so much again for joining us here on Fantasy NBA Tonight Live. That has been our show. Follow me on Twitter at VM Center. Again, thank you guys so much. The site, hoop-ball.com. Twitter, at hoopballtweets, my Twitter handle again, and all social media platforms at VM Center. If you guys haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up button so that we know that you guys like this show. After the show is over, leave comments in the comment section below, things that you liked about the show, things that you didn't like about the show, players that you guys want us to talk about on later shows, like on Fantasy NBA Today, when we do those shows live, probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. But when we do those shows, let us know what you guys think about it. Subscribe to the show, continue subscribing, and again, thank you all so very much. It's truly appreciated. Have a great weekend. And for those who I don't get to see, have yourself an amazing Halloween and be safe. Peace out.